you're writing your script and you get to that point where you're writing dialogue and you're like, is this OC, OS, or VO? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. How do you tell the difference between them? I'm going to give you a really simple way to do that, and hopefully that will sort through all your confusion. You won't have this question ever again. That's my hope. A little side note. Right now, as I record this, it's January of 2021, and one of my goals was to release a video every weekday for the month of January. This video you're watching right now is the last one of that, so I'm not going to have daily videos going forward. My plan is to release videos on Mondays and Thursdays. There might be a few here and there that are a little extra. Be sure to like, subscribe if you haven't, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when there's a new video on this channel. Okay, enough of that. Let's jump in. When it comes to OC, OS, or VO, these are abbreviations that are referencing where the character speaking is in relationship to everything else going on in the scene and to the other people in the scene. And that's really all it is. It's really not as confusing as people make it out to be. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about it going from very present in the scene to very not present in the scene, and which ones you should use and how to kind of differentiate between them. And I promise it's going to be really simple. Okay, first, and to get this started and make sense, let's just deal with when we don't use it. You don't use it when we literally see and hear both people on the screen. So we see them, we hear their voice, we see the other person, we hear their voice. And in that sense, we're just writing the dialogue. This person says something like, "Hey Frank, how's it going?" "Fine, Bob, how are you?" Whatever that is. That's really boring dialogue. Don't do stuff like that, but you get my point. So Frank and Bob just having a conversation. Now what happens though if Frank is talking to Bob and Bob walks out? So maybe they're in a house in the living room. So our scene is taking place in the living room. Bob walks into the kitchen and yells back, "Hey Frank, you want some water?" In that case, now I'm going to use the first one, off camera, which is OC. So in that case, it'd be Frank sitting there, Bob, OC, we still hear him. He's still kind of present in the scene. He's just literally just walked off camera and is going to come probably walking back on camera, maybe holding a glass of water for himself. So that one line, he was off camera. The next one, OS, is off screen. So this is when, let's say Frank is sitting in his living room and Bob calls him on the phone. So we're watching Frank and we hear Bob's dialogue. He is off screen on the phone. He's not present. He's not there. He's not just off camera. He's literally off the screen. He's in some other location. So telephones, a radio in a car, a PA system, at a school, in a facility, at a stadium, all that stuff. The person's kind of there, but not really, right? They're off screen. But here's the thing, and this is what differentiates off screen from voiceover or VO. Anything off screen, the characters in that scene hear the voice. So they hear the voice over the loudspeaker. They hear the voice on the phone. They hear the voice on the radio. A voiceover is strictly for the audience. The characters involved in the story don't hear it. So maybe we're watching Frank and he's just sitting there watching TV, and then you hear the voice of a narrator. "It was a dark, stormy night." That's VO. Frank doesn't hear that, okay? Unless that's the thing playing on the TV that he's watching. In that case, it would be OS for off screen. Or if Bob's in the kitchen is like, "Hey Frank, it was a dark, stormy night." Well, now that's off camera. So the simple way to just keep in mind is, one, if the character is hearing it, it's OC or OS. If the characters are not hearing it, it's automatically VO. Okay, so VO is reserved for when the characters themselves don't hear it. If the person speaking is not in the physical location, it's going to be OS. They're off screen. If they are in the physical locations, like another room or just out of frame, something like that, then it's off camera. See? Very simple. Hopefully that's been helpful to you. If it has, please like, subscribe, bell. I really appreciate it. If you got questions, maybe there's something you're like, "Well, but what about this or what about that?" Drop a question in. We'll try to deal with that pretty easily. If I need to expand on it, I may do that in a future video. But hopefully this is going to answer your questions about whether you should use OC for off camera, OS for off screen, or VO for voiceover. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you so much for watching. If you're going to tell a story that matters. See you later.